Right, time for the day's transfer news now. As you can see, I've been joined on set by our reporter, Nolan Baker. Nolan, good to see you. Let's start with Manchester United ins and outs in midfield. Yeah, what we are waiting for is just confirmation on who is going to be flying out on Manchester United's pre-season tour to the United States. We're expecting a number of the players who are linked with moves away to still go on this trip because there have been no deals that have been finalized, but it will still be interesting to see when we get confirmation of that. We're expecting Scott McTominay to be on that flight. Now, we do know that he has been strongly linked with a move to Fulham. While United aren't actively looking to sell, and Erik ten Hag has already said that he's an important player, it's not going to stop interested parties from making bids. Fulham have already made a bid of around £17 million in this transfer window. But it has been rejected. We're expecting them to go back, and I think United are expecting Fulham to go back in with an improved offer. Galatasaray, the Turkish club, they are also interested as well. With regard to incomings, United are looking at a number of players. Paris Saint-Germain midfielder, we've been mentioning throughout this transfer window, Manuel Ugarte, Uruguay international. He remains a player of interest and remains a live option. The player is understood to be keen on joining United. Paris Saint-Germain are understood to be keen on doing a deal. Manchester United, though, initial talks have highlighted a big gap in the valuation between what they're prepared to pay and what Paris Saint-Germain want. We think it could be as high as €70 million, the valuation for Manuel Ugarte. Sofyan Amrabat is an interesting one. We know he was on loan at Manchester United last season. United had the option to buy him for €20 million. They don't want to spend €20 million on him, but they're still in discussions with Fiorentina about maybe negotiating on that fee. Youssouf Fofana of Monaco, he is another player that has emerged as an option for Manchester United. But in keeping with how Manchester United want to do their transfer dealings, they want to agree deals in principle with multiple targets and then decide which one they want to pursue. Because they don't want to find themselves in that position that they have in previous transfer windows, where there's been one target, they've chased that player the whole window, and then when it hasn't worked out, it's almost been panic stations. Here, if they have 3 or 4 options, then if one doesn't work, they can easily move on to another player because they would have done due diligence and they would have done work on that particular player. So could be potential incomings and outgoings in midfield. What about in the centre-back position? Who are they targeting there? Again, we're talking about United needing to create budget and squad space. And Victor Lindelof remains an option for a number of European clubs. But there are still a couple of options that United are looking at with regard to incomings. Matthijs de Ligt from Bayern Munich still remains a live option as far as Manchester United are concerned. However, not at the price that Bayern would want. We think that Bayern want €50 million plus performance-related add-ons. United don't want to pay anywhere near that, so the discussions initially have highlighted a big gap in valuation. However, Bayern Munich, they are in a bit of a pickle here, only because they are trying to do a deal with Bayer Leverkusen over Jonathan Tah. Now, a lot of that deal has been agreed with the player potentially, and some of the talks have been positive between the two clubs. However, it's likely they'll need to sell Matthijs de Ligt to be able to pursue that deal for Tah. And interestingly, Manchester United have looked at Jonathan Tah as well. Some people will look at that cynically and think, are they doing that because they want to bring the price down for Matthijs de Ligt? Whatever reasoning they have, they still feel de Ligt is an option, but not at the price that Bayern are really asking Manchester United to pay. Jarrod Brandt, we've been talking about the entire window. It's a bit of a stalemate at the moment because United aren't willing to go higher than £70 million that Everton want. Their last bid was around £50 million all in. If Everton are to reduce their asking price, then maybe United would go back to the table. But United are keeping an eye on his situation and Everton's situation as well before they decide whether they're going to pursue a deal for Brandt. It sounds like there's lots going on. Where else should we be looking out for in regards to Manchester United? We know that United wanted a centre-back. They brought Lenny Yoro in, they wanted a forward, they brought in Joshua Zirkzee. We've talked about the midfield area. We've talked about a potential of another centre-back as well. Right-back is an interesting area too, because if Manchester United go into the market for a right-back, it's likely that Aaron Wan-Bissaka will be the key to whether they go back into the market for a right-back. Now we know West Ham are very interested, but we don't think that West Ham are interested in the pricing that Manchester United currently have. We think that United value Aaron Wan-Bissaka at £15 million plus. Interestingly, United are looking at a number of other right-backs, including the Bayern Munich right-back Noussair Mazraoui. But like I said about the Jonathan Tah and the Matthijs de Ligt situation, West Ham United are also interested in Mazraoui. Cynically, you could ask the question, are they doing that because United are interested and maybe try to get the price down for Aaron Wan-Bissaka, or is there genuine interest in the Bayern Munich right-back? We understand that that is the case. Talks have been held between the two clubs. So again, definitely one to watch the right-back area. Jadon Sancho is another area to look at as well. We do know that he's been reintegrated into the squad at Manchester United. We do know that Erik ten Hag and Sancho have put all their issues behind them, drawn a line under it, and he's now training with the first team squad. However, that hasn't stopped interested parties in Jadon Sancho making their interest known. Paris Saint-Germain are the latest club to be interested in Jadon Sancho. While there hasn't been a formal approach to United, we understand via intermediaries they have explored the potential conditions of a deal. Now, if United get an offer from either them or Juventus or Borussia Dortmund who are interested as well, it's not to say that United would sell, but they would look at any suitable offers for any of their players really. You'd have to say that. So lots going on at Manchester United at the moment, incomings and outgoings as well. What about elsewhere then? Bring us up to speed on the future of Emile Smith's role. Yeah, look, we know that Fulham have lost Paulina to Bayern Munich. They have been in the market to bring in midfielders. We mentioned Scott McTominay already. They had a bid of £17 million rejected. They're likely to go back in. And Emile Smith-Rowe, they've had a bid rejected from Arsenal, as have Crystal Palace. There is an expectation that Fulham will go back in with an improved offer. We know that Emile Smith-Rowe is currently with the Arsenal squad. He's flown out to the United States for their pre-season tour. So at the moment, he's part of the plans until Fulham increase their offer, and whether Arsenal will accept that offer. They don't want him to go. They're not actively looking to sell, but they are sympathetic to his situation. They know that he wants regular first-team football. Is he going to get that at Arsenal? It's questionable. The player that's in front of him is the captain and one of their best players in Martin Odegaard. So his pathway really is a little bit blocked as far as Smith-Rowe is concerned. Fulham also looking at Andre from Fluminense. They've had initial discussions with the Brazilian club. At the moment, there's a gap in valuation. Interest remains. They haven't gone back in yet though. Okay, Nolan, for now, thank you very much.